What advice would you give to people who go, I think God's calling us to lead together, but we got to figure out what that looks like?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's definitely a journey of trying to figure it out. I mean, we've been married 20 years just this last week, and we're just trying to, we're only just, I think, figuring out ourselves. And in some ways, I mean, because leading together, it'll break you in certain ways, and it'll, I mean, it's like when you first get married, those first couple of years, oh yeah, okay, cool. But then as you get further on, you got to work really hard at, we still love each other, but you've got to work hard at making intentionality.
Yeah.
You find out more about how more selfish you are, all those sorts of things. And so it's similar, I think, when you build a church, when you're working together so closely all the time, especially, I mean, COVID, man, my goodness.
Yeah.
Now you're with each other all the time, which we kind of were anyway, which is great. But I think there's lots of things where there's lots of assumptions when you lead together. So you assume that certain things, or you assume this is happening. And I tend to be a bit more, probably less organized and a bit more kind of off the cuff and random. And Julie's a lot more organized. And so she knows that about me. I know that about her.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't mean that we necessarily walk that out well. So I think communication is the biggest part of it, because you've got to communicate not just church, but you've also got to communicate parenting, and you've got to communicate your own relationship. And and I'm the type of person who, like Julie can be doing something such as, just being very organized and administrative, and she can just be sitting watching TV and having a conversation, doing all those sorts of things. I've got to shut off. Like if it's us time, like, do you know what I mean? Like, because I'll go, are you working? and then I'm like, what the heck's going on? But what we do is we have intentional times during the week where we make sure that we are on the same page when it comes to church, what's in the agenda, all those sorts of things. And then we also have a separate time where we talk about just us and what's on your heart, what's going on. We time it, and we just make sure that we can get everything out and everything stays in that moment, just so we know where our hearts are at and all those sorts of things. And so I think it's just really important that we look after each other, because we know in ministry, it's so easy to make things can look like they're going awesome from the outside.
Yeah.
But then, everything kind of comes crashing down, and then all of a sudden everybody realizes it wasn't so awesome at home, was it? Or it wasn't so awesome in your heart. And so guarding your heart and just really making sure that, that we're really intentional with each other. And because if this doesn't work, doesn't matter how good your church looks, it's just not gonna, it's not gonna fly.